Hello, welcome to Raymond Castile's Basement of Horror. I want you to know that I am in excruciating pain right now. Yes, I am really going the extra mile to bring you this YouTube episode. You see, I have two canes, not one but two, so that when I lift myself up out of this chair, it's going to really hurt. It hurt to sit down and it'll hurt to stand up. I was on a playground as part of my job a couple days ago, and I was squatting down doing photography, and I got up real fast because, you know, when I'm shooting things, I've been a photographer of one kind or another for, I was going to say 20 years, it's been longer than that. About 20 years. I was a newspaper photographer and reporter for many years. I would report on stories and take my own pictures. And yes, I was inspired by Kolchak to do that. Kolchak, the Night Stalker. He runs up with his straw hat and he interviews people, then he takes pictures. So that's why I wanted to take my own pictures. The office photographers didn't like that. Reporters weren't supposed to take their own pictures, but I wanted to do it. So I did. And I was pretty good at it. I think I was pretty good at illustrating my own stories with photos. So I was a good news photographer, I say. Others may not agree, but I say I was. And I did that for many, many years. So now as part of my job as a marketing director, part of what I do is photography. And when I do that, I'm jumping around, I'm like rolling around the floor, I'm really literally rolling on the floor, and I just jump down, leap up, and run around, and very active to try to get these cool photos. So that's just second nature to me. It's just no big deal. But I guess my body is telling me it is a big deal. So I was doing that, I was squatting down, taking pictures, and I jumped up like Spider-Man, and it felt like someone just stabbed me in the side, the lower left side of my back. It's like someone had like a jagged knife, like some Klingon weapon, just went. Oh my goodness! And I just had to go boom right back to the ground. I just sat on the ground for 10 minutes while the kids were playing around me. And they were riding little tricycles, almost running over my fingers. And I was just sitting there thinking, is this like Christopher Reeve? Am I paralyzed now? What's going to happen? Should I move? Should I get help? What should I do? And of course, since I'm a guy, I didn't ask for help. So stupidly, so I was able to get up and go on about the rest of my day. And actually, deceptively, it seemed like it was getting better as the day progressed. It was really sore for a few hours. And then it seemed like it was getting better. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to be okay now. No problem. And I went to sleep. And I woke up earlier than usual, because the pain woke me up. And I was like, I couldn't move. It hurt so bad. I couldn't move at all. Anything, my arms, legs, anything. It was just, I'm in pain. And it took me 20 minutes to get out of bed, just inching a little bit, until finally I was out of bed. And then I texted my boss that I can't come in today. I have to take a sick day. So luckily my dad took me to the doctor, and the doctor said that I had pulled a muscle and it went into spasm. So he prescribed muscle relaxer and alternating cold and warm compresses, and then light stretching, and staying off work for a couple days. So these are my mother's old canes. She's been dead for 20 years, but she had pancreatic cancer, and she lived with it for about 2 years, and we took care of her in the house. She never had to stay. We had hospice at the end, so she never had to stay for a prolonged time at the hospital. She was always in the house, and she would get around on these and a walker, which I've got by my bed. And luckily, my bed is that kind that automatically it reclines or moves up. I don't know what you call that, but it's those automatic beds. So it's like being in a hospital. I can go bzzz, move the bed up, and then I have my walker. I can get out of bed. And I can get around the house on these things. I feel kind of like Brundle Fly in Cronenberg's The Fly, where he has those two. They're not canes, they're braces or something on his arms, and he walks like that. I feel a little like Barnabas Collins with a cane. I can do that kind of Barnabas pose. But Barnabas doesn't use these kind of canes, though. So right now I've got a cold compress on my back. Got like a brace or a belt or something with a cold pad back there, or one of those gel things you put in the freezer. And I'm okay at the moment. Hopefully everything will be all right. But what you won't see at the end of this, after I say bye-bye, is me trying to get up out of the seat. That'll be funny. Well, you won't see it, so you won't know if it's funny. Okay. So that's my life. All right. What are we going to talk about? Monster stuff. This is Basement of Horror. I did say this was Basement of Horror, right? Okay. It's Basement of Horror. And continuing with the Halloween theme, we're going to talk about a Halloween mask and costume company. Now, instead of doing I'm trying to avoid Ben Cooper because I've got so many Ben Cooper costumes, I don't even know how to approach that. I don't know how to do it. So I'm trying to do like the little companies or the little sets of costumes. That's more manageable. So we're going to talk about a company called Halco. 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 The real name for this company is J. Halpern Company. So Halco is their brand name, and it's a shortened version of Halpern Company, Halco. J. Halpern was founded in 1917, a long time ago. Was I born yet? You can decide. How old am I? Was I born in 1917? I don't know. Maybe. But for sure, J. Halpern was born in 1917. That company was founded in 1917. And for the next, 50 years, they made cap guns. That was their big thing. It wasn't really Halloween, it was cap guns. So if you're a cap gun collector and you hear the word Halco, you think, oh yeah, I have some of those in my collection. They make cap guns. But if you're cool and you are more into Halloween costumes than cap guns, then for you, Halco is a Halloween costume company. They started making Halloween costumes in the mid-1930s. And Collegeville, Halco, and Ben Cooper all started making costumes around the same time. It was mid-30s, like 35-ish. I think Collegeville started first, then Halco, then Ben Cooper. So I think Ben Cooper was the third and last one of the three. But it was all in the mid-30s. And right off the bat, they had licensed characters. So Halco actually scored some pretty good licenses. But we're not going to talk about them, because this is the Basement of Horror, not the Basement of Popeye. So we're going to hold off talking about licenses and talk about Halco's horror and monster costumes. In the, I think it was the early 60s, Halco made some really cool Universal Monster style Halloween costumes. Now, I don't know if they were licensed or not, but they were better than any licensed Universal costumes I've ever seen. They made a Frankenstein and a Phantom and a Wolfman. They made a Dracula, but it wasn't. As far as the ones I've seen, it wasn't Bela Lugosi. But the Frankenstein and Wolfman and Phantom were really based on movie images. They weren't cartoon images. They really made an effort to model them off of images from the films. And the costumes themselves had really nice artwork. It wasn't necessarily always movie accurate, but it had really interesting artwork. So that was, I think, early 60s that those came out, I think. And then in 1967, Halco, J. Halpern, was merged with a company called Kusan. I pronounce it Kusan, but I have no idea if that's right. It could be Kusan, I don't know. I'm going to say Kusan, because just whatever, that's how I've always pronounced it. I'm probably wrong, but it's spelled Kusan. So in 1967, J. Halpern merged with Kusan, and they kept making Halloween costumes, but their style completely changed, and they made much more like weird, psychedelic, funky, cartoony kind of costumes, which is actually, and those are the ones we're going to look at in a few minutes. Then in 1977, Kusan sold J. Halpern. I don't know who they sold them to, but whoever it was kept the Halco name alive to the present day. So Halco still exists, but they don't make Halloween costumes anymore. Now they make Christmas costumes like Santa and Mrs. Santa for grown-ups. So not like nothing a kid would wear, but something a grown-up would wear to like a more serious kind of a holiday event or a costume party, something like that. And I believe they make Easter costumes too, like an Easter bunny. Again, that'd be sort of like an event-style costume, something you'd wear to like an Easter event. It's not for trick-or-treating. So they make more upscale adult-style costumes. So Halco's still around. And it's a real problem if you're on eBay trying to search for Halco vintage Halloween costumes, because you get just hundreds of these modern Christmas costumes. Like, I don't want that. So you have to limit your search, like Halco Halloween or Halco vintage, and it's kind of a pain. A lot of the Halco costumes you see on eBay are going to be like TV licenses or cartoon licenses. The horror monster stuff, most of it is very, very rare. There's a couple of masks, like a very well-known Frankenstein mask, which we're going to see, which is very common, and it's one of the most well-known Halco designs. But the stuff I was talking about, the movie style Universal monster costumes, those are very hard to find and very rare, and when they do show up, they're expensive. Oh, I mean, like, easily they'll be like $200 or $300 for a good condition Frankenstein or Phantom or Wolfman. And I've got the Frankenstein and the Phantom, and I used to have the Wolfman. I don't have him anymore, so I can't show him to you, unfortunately. I don't even have a picture. But I'm going to show the Frankenstein, the Phantom, and some other designs that Halco and Kusan put out. Now, it's interesting that Halpern was founded in 1917, and then they merged in 1967, and they were sold in 1977. So everything's on a 7, like 50 years and 60 years means nothing. It's just an observation I thought was kind of interesting. Okay, so let's take a look here. Well, let's get my cane out of the way. So this is one of those canes that stands up by itself, see? And that's helpful. All right, so here's the very famous Frankenstein design. This is the one that's very common. You'll see this a lot. Although this is an early version of it. So I have the same costume. Well, I don't know what the costume. I have the same mask in multiple boxes. I picked this one because it looks old, and the box is in really nice shape. So my YouTube buddy MIB will appreciate the condition of this one, because that is MIB. That's mint in box. You can see there, very crisp, very perfect. The cellophane, remarkably, is still intact. So this is their best known Frankenstein mask. So you will see this a lot. Now, if you're interested in Halloween costumes at all, this should be familiar to you. I'm sure you've seen this design. And somebody made an independent mask based on this in recent years, and I think it's latex, like a collector-style mask that was based on this design. And you'll see this in many different boxes. I picked this box because, again, the condition was really nice, but also it looked like the oldest design. The other ones I have look like later box designs, like maybe going into the later 60s, early 70s. But this one looks like a really old box. And the costume itself is made of fabric. That's not vinyl. That's like pajamas. That's a fabric costume. I mean, the first thing I think of when I look at that is like, you'd wear this to bed. It's like someone's pajamas. I'm not going to take that all out, but... And a lot of early costumes were fabric like that, before they switched to synthetic fibers and then finally just vinyl. But that's like cotton. That's not synthetic. That's, like I said, that's like kids' pajamas. I mean, it even has the same, to the touch, it has the same textures, like kiddie pajamas like I used to have as a kid, that would have like, Marvel Comics characters, or, I think I had Close Encounters of the Third Kind pajamas. I had Incredible Hulk pajamas. What else did I have? Well, those two in particular, and other ones. So that is one of Halco's most famous designs. You will see that design repeated again and again. That was like their perennial Frankenstein design. This is a Dracula, and it is not mitten box. This is a mess. But I wanted to show you this just because I thought it was such a cool box design, such a cool mask design, and I don't know when this was made. A lot of Halloween costumes don't have dates on them. But first, just look at this box design. That just screams Halloween. That's classic Halloween. Look at the artwork on the sides. I mean, it's smushed, but use your imagination. That really has some wonderful artwork all around the sides. And I love the color of it. Most, it's weird, but most Halloween costume boxes are not in Halloween colors. This has that cool Halloween orange and black color scheme. And most Halloween costumes don't come in boxes with that kind of color scheme. It's kind of odd. But this does. And it has really old-fashioned sort of imagery on the sides. It looks like the artwork seems older than it is. I'm imagining this is late 60s or 70s. I'm thinking. Just the style, the lettering, and everything. And the mask itself is very psychedelic. They have a Frankenstein like this that I'll talk more about in a second. And I don't know how many others they made in this sort of psychedelic color scheme. The costume itself, I don't know if I want to take this out. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. You get a little taste of what it looks like. Yeah, I'll never get that folded back if I take that apart. Okay, so this costume still has the Halco logo on it. But now this is interesting. I don't know if you can see this or not. It has two logos. It has Halco and Kusan. Right on the edge there, Halco and Kusan. On this corner here. So it has the Halco logo and the Kusan logo. So this is post 67 merger with Kusan. Okay, now we're going to look at those earlier Universal style costumes. Okay, so it looks like I have this in a protective sleeve. I don't think I want to take that out of the sleeve. So there's the Phantom of the Opera. And you can see it really looks like James Cagney from Man of a Thousand Faces, which would also help date the costume too. But look at that. Now that is a Halloween mask. That is something. Let's see if there's a date. I can't read it. It's too small. Well, let's look at the sides of this. Look at the sides of this costume here. Look at the box art. Very, very old-fashioned. Not what you really associate with Halloween imagery. It's a different aesthetic. Everything about it's a very different aesthetic. This, as I recall, he has some damage under his chin. There's like, if I'm remembering correctly, under the chin, it's like kind of cut up down there. It's like little strips. And how that happened, I have no idea. So it's not mint, but the box is beautiful. Looks like there's some splits in the cellophane, but most of the cellophane is still there. I don't. Oh. Yeah, gosh, I think I'm going to have to open this up because you really need to see this costume. I'm going to regret this. So as Halloween costumes go, this is kind of a big one. This is not one you want to mess up. So I need to be very careful with this. Oh, bump the mic. Okay. I'll put it on my cane. Or will I? Get in there, you. Come on. Ah! There you go. Ooh. All right. Oh, yeah, there's Okay. So the mask actually has, you can't see it, but it's got a fair amount of damage. So it's not mint. But these things are so rare, it doesn't matter. I'm lucky to have this. So there's the mask. I don't want to damage the cellophane. Alright, but I did want to show you the costume. Oh, even this box is really fragile. It's got little splits, and it looked like it was really good shape at first, but when we start looking at it more closely, you see, not really. So, I'm not going to unfold this, but I want you to see. So it's got like a tuxedo kind of a outfit, but look at that. It has Bela Lugosi as Dracula, but he's furry. It's like he's turning into a werewolf. So it's Bela Lugosi in a classic Dracula pose, but with a furry face. It's like werewolf Bela. So let's put. You see all the glitter? It's all glittery. And it's got like a Dracula medallion there. Oh, now this is good. I was wondering if these are licensed or not. Here we go. It says Universal Pictures Company, Inc. So it is licensed. That's good to know. I didn't see anything like that on the box. Oh yeah, there it is. Now I see it. Okay. Well, that answers the question. And now that I've got the wrap off, I can see it more clearly. Phantom of the Opera, copyright Universal Pictures. So it is indeed licensed. And who's this store? I can't read it. It's a store I've never heard of. America's leading costume creators. Also look for famous Halco holsters, pistols, and caps. So even on their Halloween costume, they're advertising their cap guns. That's interesting. So that was worth taking the wrap off of it so I could see that stuff more clearly. And see that it is indeed licensed by Universal. Okay, so now I'm not going to put that back on just yet. That'll take too long. I want to do that more carefully. Okay. Alright, so here is Frankenstein. He's in here somewhere. Okay. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have any cellophane. So here is Frankie. Look at that. That is like a Lon Chaney Jr. Frankenstein, like Ghost of Frankenstein. Isn't that something? Let's take this apart, take a look at it. Here we go. This mask is in better shape. Here's the mask. You can see his little electrodes, his nick bolts. He is really cool. The costume says Monster Man. And it's sort of a gold costume. And if I remember correctly, what kind of characters on this? Yeah, I'm not taking that apart. So It doesn't look like a Frankenstein. Let's put it that way. Could you go this way? That's better. It doesn't look like a Frankenstein on the costume. It says Monster Man. And interesting, the box says Monster Man. And apparently this belonged to Karen at one time. So I don't know if there might have been another version of this that was in a box more like the Phantom that was licensed. It had a different... well, I know there was a Frankenstein costume that had a really sweet-looking Frankenstein image on it. Now, remember, the Dracula was all psychedelic, so this same mask, this sculpt, this design, was also made in that psychedelic style, with that weird, swirly, different colored paint, almost like a black light. Like my black light poster, almost the same kind of colors. So there is that kind of non-traditional version of this mask, and I don't know what style box it came in, but it was probably similar to that Dracula mask. So here we go. And then the Wolfman was also, it had a very serious looking Wolfman mask, and then the costume for that Wolfman was just beautiful. It had a very authentic Universal style Lon Chaney Jr. Wolfman image on the costume. And I don't remember if the image is from House of Dracula or Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. I think he's going like that, I think. Something like that. It's either Abbott and Costello or House of Dracula, I think. Because the Wolfman looks different in every movie. He never looks the same twice. There's the original The Wolfman, the first movie. Then there's Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. Then House of Frankenstein. Then House of Dracula. And Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. So in every one of those, the Wolfman has a different look. I mean, it's not utterly different, but you can tell, if you see a still image, a photo, you can tell which movie it's from. Okay, so that was... those were the earlier Halco costumes, and you could see that they still say Halco on the costumes. Now we're going to look at Kusan costumes, and I don't think these will say Halco on them. So let me get this out of here. Get this out. Put this over here. Put this in here. Okay. So first, I gotta get some things out of the way in this box. Might as well just show you here. We got a generic Ben Cooper clown costume. It just happens to be in the box. It's in the same box. Put him down here. And this is interesting. This is also a generic clown costume. This one's Collegeville. But it's no longer generic. So when they made this, when Collegeville made this, it was just a generic clown. But now, that is Rob Zombie's Halloween Little Michael Myers clown mask. So that's the mask that little Michael Myers wears when he's a kid. He wears that clown mask. And I have two of these. So the costume he wore in the movie isn't the same as the one that actually comes with the Collegeville costume. So Rob Zombie and his costume designer, they made a different costume in the movie. It's not the one that actually came with the mask. I have 2 of these, and it's basically the same style box, but it's just slightly different. There's a little bit different language on it. This one's a little buckled on the top. I think the other one's in better condition. I think... So does it have a date on here? No. So this is not an old costume. This is, I think, 1980s. This is not 50s, 60s, 70s. This is more recent than that. So I think it's anachronistic for when does the Rob Zombie Halloween, when is Michael Myers supposed to be a little kid in that movie? Maybe it's not, maybe it's okay. Because, I guess it would have been in the 80s when he was supposed to be a little kid in the Zombie Halloween. Of course, the John Carpenter one, he was a kid in the how many years was it? Early 60s? Something like that. Yeah. But in the zombie film, I think he's a kid in the 80s. So anyway, that's Collegeville clown costume. All right. Now we're going to get to the point here. What do we got? Oh, wow. How exciting. A fairy princess. Not what I thought I was going to pull out of there. Well, see, these are too big for that camera. So there you go. Kusan fairy princess. Well, that's the first one I pulled out. But look at this weird artwork. Look at that stuff. So look at that weird artwork. The artwork on these costumes on the box is really the big selling point for me. It says famous Halloween costumes. It has the Kusan logo. I don't see a date on it. But it does have that, well, it says flame retardant on this one. Let's take it out. Yeah, I'm not gonna. So it's got a vinyl costume, and here's the mask. I'm not gonna take out all of these, but this is just the first one I happened to pull out. Let's look at another one. Hopefully this is a monster. Alright, this is a little better. This is a witch, at least. There's a witch. So okay, here's the mask, but the artwork looks kind of cute. Here's the witch mask. And I'm gonna put you over here. This is cute artwork. Look at this. I think that's cute. I like the green pumpkin, the green jack-o'-lantern. So these are really unique for a lot of reasons. They have these long boxes. It's very atypical. It's not what you expect. I mean, earlier Halco and Collegeville and Ben Cooper, they all have the same kind of boxes. Basically the same kind of dimensions. And these have these weird long boxes. I don't know why. I don't know what the strategy was. And twisting my back. I should be doing that. Okay, oh, this is a good one. That looks like the werewolf there. Oh, yeah. This is cool. Let's see if we can show him without him falling apart. Yeah, look at that. Ain't that cool? I like that he's green. He's a green werewolf. I'm not going to take apart this costume, but let's just take a look at it. Oh, it's such nice artwork though. Oh, I hate doing this. Okay, there's the artwork on the costume. Okay, put it back. I'm never going to get this back the way it was. Okay. Close enough. Okay. So, these are Kusan. These are Halco. But big difference from the earlier ones we looked at. All right, let me put all these away. Because I have the whole set. That's one of the reasons I wanted to show you these, because I could show you the entire set. All right. Woohoo! That's not going to work. Okay. Let's see which one this is. Oh, this looks like the Frankenstein, I think. Here it is. Oh, did he fall down in there? There he is. Look at him. Now, for some reason, his band is going across the front of the mask, and it looks like it's stuck there, so I'm not going to mess with that. There's Frankie. And he's got, it's the same artwork that's on the box, but on the box Frankie's blue, and on the actual costume he's green. Yeah, something's falling apart here. We got, what is all this stuff? Got some kind of confetti in here. Don't know what that is. What the heck? Man, who knows what's in these things? I like the look of them, of these things in the box like that, because you can get kind of a sense of the mask with the costume because of the shape of this box. The mask doesn't cover up the costume. Alright, so how many more of these can we get to? Which one's this? That's another Frankenstein. Yeah, we don't need to see two Frankensteins. There's a pirate. His cellophane's coming loose. You can see the pirate. Alright. Well, I can already tell this is going to turn to a big mess. Let's see what else we got here. There's a devil. So we have a devil here. That's a cool one. Oh boy, look at that mess. Okay, so we got to move some of this. This is not going to work. And these are actually manageable. That's why I picked the Kusan Halco costumes, because there were so few of them. I'd be able to show them to you in a manageable fashion, as opposed to Ben Cooper or College available. It would just be like tribbles all over, just piling up. But even with this limited set, even here I'm having problems. So here's the devil. He's a scary little devil. And this box looks kind of rough. It's got a split in that corner. Don't like that. Okay, here's a devil. He's cute. And here's his little mask. Arrgh. Let's see what's going on with this costume. Yeah. It gives you an idea of what it looks like. So, how many more of these do we have? We might as well go to the end. We've come this far. Okay. So I think I need to upgrade my devil. His condition is not quite up to snuff. This box is a bit rough. A bit rougher than I thought any of these were. Okay, what else we got here? What's this one? Another witch. No, we don't need to see her again. We saw the witch. Sorry, witch. Nothing personal. We already saw a witch. Nothing against you. We saw a witch. Don't put a hex on me or anything. Don't do that. Now that costume is sitting there fuming, saying, he thinks he will deny me my chance at stardom. I will put a hex on him. Oh, this is a cool one. All right. Here's a skull. Look at that. That's a good one. Let's see here. Ho, ho, ha, ha, he. Choose your favorite famous costume. They're really hitting that famous idea. I wonder what that's all about. Famous Halloween costumes. I guess they are saying like Halco is famous for their Halloween costumes. I don't know. There's the skeleton. So these Kusans really have a different look from either Halco or Ben Cooper or anything else. They have a very unique look. Yeah, I'm not going to take that out. That's never been used, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not. That's never been touched. I'm not taking that out. And the artwork looks like it's on the inside, so I'd have to unravel the whole thing to get to it. So, but it's a cool costume. Cool mask. I like the white and the green. Okay. Oh, this is no good for my back, I can tell you that. Maybe it'll stretch it out. So the doctor did say on the second day it was time for light, how do you put it now? Not flexing, stretching. yeah, I guess. Light stretching. So this counts as my light stretching. So I had the cold compresses and rest and muscle relaxer. So now I'm doing my stretching, going back and forth, getting these costumes out. Okay, so this is the star of the show. This is the vampire costume. And he's cool because he's the one on the box. It's featured on the side of the box. So let's open him up. And this box is in really nice shape. That's good. I like a nice, crisp Halloween box. None of this Raggedy Ann business. All right. Here he is. I've vanquished the vampire. I thought you needed a stake for that, but apparently not. He's dead. Okay, well, here's his face. I gotta say that without the crazy eyes, it's not quite the same. You can see how it emphasizes those crazy eyes on the artwork. So let's see. And of course, the kid would have to supply his own crazy eyes, which some kids could do better than others. All right, so here's the costume. Okay. There it is. There's the costume. Here's the mask. Now, to put this back. Okay. I think it was just like that. Whew. All right. So, the vampire, if there's one of these that's considered sought after, I wouldn't call any of them sought after, but if there's one that a collector would most want to have, it would be this one. It would be the vampire. And I don't know if it's much rarer than the rest. I do recall having a bit of trouble getting him. I do think he was a little harder to find. But because he's the one that's featured on the box like that, he's the one you want to get. Now, of course, it's not closing like it should. Put him up there. Okay, of course it's not going to go back together again. Whatever. Now, it says on the bottom, Dracula. So it's not just a vampire, it's Dracula. Dracula. Yeah, it's interesting that Kusan Inc. is in Nashville, Tennessee. I did not know where they were located. That's good. Now I know they're in Nashville. So, that's it. That is the entire collection of the Kusan famous Halloween costume series. All the ones in this series. All the ones pictured on the box. You just saw them. A complete set. And it's kind of rare when you're collecting Halloween costumes to have a complete set of anything. It's just there's so many of them, and there's no way to know what's in the set, what's not in the set. But these, it's easy because they're all printed right on the box. And I could swear I had a Kusan catalog. I'm sure I had a catalog, but I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. I'll probably never find it. But I could have sworn I had a catalog that I was going to open up and show you as well. But it would just be the same artwork you've seen here. It would be this artwork that's on the side. These little dancing characters. Just bigger, on the page. So these are actually Halcos. These are of the same family tree as that. Doesn't seem like it, but they are. That's the evolution. Halco, Kusan, but same company, J. Halpern, merged with Kusan, and then Kusan sold J. Halpern. And the brand name Halco is still alive today, making Santa costumes. So that's it. I think we'll do one more Halloween costume episode if I can. I have to say this episode discourages me a little bit because this took a lot longer than I thought and a lot more mess than I counted on. It's hard to show these things, and it gets a little tedious because just here's another box and here's another box and here's another box, and you can't really play with it or anything. It's just here's the mask, So I hope you're liking this. I hope this is doing something for you. I hope you're enjoying this. It's a little different. After Halloween, we'll get back to more toy-oriented episodes, but I want to take advantage of this time of year to do Halloween-themed episodes. Hey, look, I've got my orange shirt. So it's Halloween time. So we'll do maybe one more costume episode. And then there's some non-costume Halloween things that I could show you. Some more three-dimensional Halloween items that we could look at. And then we'll get back to action figures and stuff. All right, that's it. Now I've got to clean all this up, even though I'm physically incapable of bending over or moving very much. Somehow I have to clean all this up and then hobble out of here with my cane, 2 canes. So that's what you won't see. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your viewership. I recently made it to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yay! So that was a little milestone. 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And as they say on YouTube, ring the bell. There's that little bell symbol. You got to click that. Don't just subscribe, and then click the little bell. You got to do 2 things. YouTube's complicated. So if you haven't subscribed, please do that. And I hope you'll look forward to the next episode as much as I'll look forward to bringing it to you. Until next time, remember, he who dies with the most toys is dead.